Hi and welcome to part 2 of the lecture. In this part we're going to look at ethical leadership and the qualities of an ethical leader. And at the end of that there are 2 examples videos, one from Tim Cook being interviewed, one from John Hessner being interviewed, and a third video which links the legal and ethical issues and the crisis of ethical culture and ethical leadership, which brings together our first 3 objectives, I should say. And also then will partly feed into our 4th objective, which will be in part 3, which is on how we institutionalize ethics. So, what is ethical leadership? Ethical leadership is the process of social influence that exists between leaders and followers. An ethical leader therefore acts proactively towards influencing followers' ethical and unethical behaviour. Now, you've done leadership in other courses, so you can see that this is a model, a transactional model of leader, or it can be a transformational model of leadership as well. It's not sufficient for leaders to claim they are ethical. They have to actually behave in an ethical way. And to do that, they need 2 types of morality: personal morality and leadership morality. So I'm going to look at personal morality and leadership morality and then wrap that together with the idea of what are the behaviours of an ethical leader. So, personal morality is about being authentic, about how you act in a manner that's consistent to your true self by expressing what he or she really thinks or believes. And in some of the example videos, they talk about authentic leadership. Leaders must act with integrity, with clear values that are consistently expressed through their action. I mean, think of Donald Trump telling everybody that there's a policy of reducing the COVID-19 through wearing masks, while at the same time refusing to wear a mask himself. Government policy, his policy to support social distancing as their stated ethical position, but his behaviour is the exact opposite of that, calling for freedoms, calling for basically turning the mask into a political weapon. Drawing on his base in a different way to try to get them to protest about the lockdown and stay safe, stay at home and social distancing. So he's probably not acting with integrity, and he's not acting in an authentic way that's consistent with the stated policies, the stated ethical policies. And finally, the courage is also seen as a personal trait of ethical leaders, because sometimes you have to do something that may not in fact be good for you in the short term, for you as the leader. There may be consequences, and that draws back onto our consequentialist theories of leadership. So personal morality is one component of ethical leadership. The other component of ethical leadership is leader morality. To be a moral manager, you have to put ethics as a priority, not just as something that's ticked off as a statement on some type of ethics program or employee training or code of ethics or policy. It has to be a priority. The legitimacy of leaders' decisions is crucial for ethical leadership. So you have to make legitimate ethical decisions, and one cannot be an ethical leader if your own behaviour is morally questionable. So again, if I was going to pick on my favourite punching bag, Donald Trump, we can see ways that the type of leadership he's putting forward is morally questionable. So therefore, it will be difficult for him to be an ethical leadership, or at least be perceived as an ethical leader. So what are the 4 main characteristics of leadership behaviour that is ethical? Being open with stakeholders, showing respect and fairness to them, because by telling them the truth, By keeping them informed, it shows that you respect them and that you're trying to be fair to them. That's beyond just sham consultation. It has to be real consultation. Inclusiveness builds trust and transparency. Role modelling must be visible in order to have an impact. It doesn't matter how ethically you behave. If you shine your light under a bushel, if no one can see that you are behaving in an ethical way, how can they copy that role model? And leaders must be sensitive to any negative signals that they may send. Because no matter what the intent is, it needs also to be modelled in a way that is received by the people that are receiving this, the people you're trying to influence, as an ethical and moral decision. Okay, as I said, there are 3 videos to watch now. Tim Cook and John Hesner, both being interviewed about authentic leadership, and then a Mel Fugate, a TEDx discussion that links culture, leadership, and ethics together. And after that, we'll come back with part 4, which the Mel Fugate video also feeds into, on institutionalizing business ethics. And in that part, I'll also talk about the economic benefits, that it's not just a choice of economic behavior or ethical behavior, that ethical behavior can in fact contribute to your organization in a positive economic way. So watch those 3 videos and then come back to part 3, objective 4.